Hello. I was still up, so I decided to make another video. This one in particular is about Ephesians 6:10 through 18. 16, 18. Very powerful numbers there, as you know. Very interesting. So, not only Ephesians 6:10, 18, more so Hebrews 4:12 as well. For the word of God is live and active, sharper than any double-edged sword. It penetrates even to dividing soul and spirit, joints and marrow. It judges the thoughts and attitudes of the heart. So, who is our enemy? You know? Is there such thing as an enemy? What does that mean, really? You know? So, if we go here, I haven't even looked it up yet. So, we'll look up etymology of enemy. Means friend. When it means amicus, friend, when you narrow it all the way down. See, it's so obvious. Friend. See that? It's crazy, huh? It's just right there in your face if you look for it. You know, enemy is our friend. And this correlates to the video I just made regarding, the not milk. The not milk. The supposed evil in the world. Supposed. Big quotes on supposed. There is no evil in the world. So, who is our enemy that the Bible constantly talks about us conquering? You know, I can do this through He who gives. I can do all this through Him who gives me strength. Do what? Well, I think Romans 8:3:17. 11 plus 7, 18. You know what it is. No, in all these things we are more than conquerors through Him who loved us. So, essentially, what's declaring here is a lot bigger than what it may seem. I take this as we, through Christ, have transcended enemy as the world understands it. We have transcended evil. We have transcended competition. We have transcended warfare. You know, that is the war. It's to transcend warfare. That is the war in and of itself. It's transcend the symbolic warfare, the very idea of it, to overcome that. The symbolic representation of conflict is our quote unquote enemy. But true to the etymology of the word, enemy follows as friend. So that also war against war itself is our friend at the same time, because through it, like I described in the previous video, through it we find our truth, our milk, our honey, the things that we were promised when we were said to follow God into this place, into the land of the Canaanites. That is what was promised. And so it was given. So we, through our war against war itself, not only does us overcoming that bring us closer to the truth, but also the battle, quote unquote battle itself, bring us to that. While I'm at it, let's just look up the origin of battle. To beat, right? To beat. Okay? What do you beat? Okay, you can beat with a club. You can beat a video game, or you can beat eggs. You know, uh, a very fast rhythmic motion, like the vibration of energy on the cellular level, right? To beat, the beating of drums, the beating of eggs. What happens when you beat eggs? It is transformed, it is metamorphosized into a different form to which you then can consume, right? You can consume eggs as they are, but once they are beaten, then you have a more profound experience, a more umami experience, a more tasteful experience with it if they are beaten. first. So I'm basically jumping around the fact that the entire fight and the fighting itself and overcoming war itself and overcoming conflict, the act of doing that in itself brings us to the truth along with the end goal. There will never be an end to the battle against battle itself while we are here, but we can beat, we can beat it, beat the eggs, beat the drums, cause the vibration to go in our favor whilst we are here on our journey and be with God, rather than in the spirit of competition, in the spirit of one against another, in the spirit of hatred. We are in the spirit of love. I thought that was a profound revelation. Romans 6:14. For sin shall no longer be your master, because you are not under the law, but under grace. War is no longer our master. Sin is no longer our master, for we are under grace. For while we are on the journey, if we declare it so, we can be above these things. All in all, when you narrow it all down and distill it all down, when you put the grapes through the wine press and get the fresh wine, when you get the fresh water, what it comes out as is everything is positive. There are no mistakes. There are no mistakes. There's only love. There's only willing to help another. And through our own lack of communication, we fail to recognize that fact. When I say we, I believe not presently for everyone, but at many points in our lives, we've all failed to communicate with one another. And I believe that in itself is part of the war. Failure to communicate is in itself a battle, a war, because you are at war with the matrix of language itself in order to describe something so that you may derive a message from it, distill it into a subjective form, and then transfer it to someone else's vastly different subjective reality, which is an extremely difficult and arduous process. That is why most people do not even attempt to do so, or ever accomplish it if they do attempt to do so. But the trying and the sincere effort and communication in itself defeats conflict. The love and the direction and the intention defeats conflict. And having disarmed the powers and authorities, he made a spectacle of them, triumphing over them by the cross. Making videos, talking to people. Just the very fact that we can communicate in a meaningful way is a spectacle over, you know, basically the defeated symbolic aspect of conflict itself. I hope this spread some light, spread some understanding today. Um, I'm getting looser with the videos. I'm getting less nervous. I'm feeling better about it. I'm feeling like I can open up more, like I can when I'm preaching out in the street, when I'm preaching to my father, when I'm preaching to my family. So that's good. I hope this shed some light on something for you, because it did it the same to me. I mean, I didn't know what I was going to say when I opened this video up at all. It just comes to me. I'd take no credit for these things. None at all. So if you have any glean information from this, any positive benefit, please thank God, thank creation, thank source, thank whoever you would like to thank that you represent that outside benevolent force that governs reality, and leave the ego out of it as much as possible. It's difficult to do even for myself. So thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you, and you have a good evening. God bless.